What you're about to discover will shock you and could change how you view Canada and the United States. Imagine 24 million loyal Canadians turning their backs on their favorite vacation destination overnight. Imagine $6.8 billion evaporating into thin air, entire communities on the brink of bankruptcy. Welcome to the largest tourism boycott in North American history, a silent, relentless revolt. Car crossings collapsed by 37%. Hotel bookings vanished by 90%. A 1.2 million member Facebook group coordinates the largest consumer revolt against American tourism ever recorded. Economic amputation began January 20, 2025, Trump's inauguration day. By May, the hemorrhaging was unstoppable. If this story fascinates you, subscribe and hit the bell. What's next will leave you speechless. More Canadians visit America than any other nationality, 20 million last year, over a quarter of all foreign tourists. In June, car crossings fell 33%, the sixth straight month of decline. Places that used to fill by 8 a.m. now stand silent. Shops and pro shops gather dust. Air travel dropped 24%, with forward bookings showing 70% declines through September. Hotel bookings vanished by 90% in zoned communities. 230,000 Americans face unemployment. Statistics Canada called it the steepest peacetime decline in Canada-US tourism relations on record. This is not economics alone, it's fury and anger driving these numbers, rooted in policy and rhetoric. This story began with a simple handwritten letter, arriving on a Tuesday morning at Hawaii's tourism board. A man from Vancouver, Michael Mortensen, had just broken up with America, and he wasn't alone. 62% of Canadians were making the same radical decision, an organized cultural withdrawal. Michael rerouted a $10,000 Hawaii trip to Japan. Others redirected budgets to Portugal, Asia, and domestic RV trips. The Facebook group coordinated mass cancellations. Hundreds of thousands have joined decisions overnight. Even the Girl Guides of Canada suspended all U.S. trips, citing safety concerns. For many it became a moral choice. Vacation plans transformed into political statements. By January 20th, the shift began. By May it was unstoppable. The boycott had momentum and mass adoption. Traffic across the border dropped dramatically, car crossings down 37% overall. Automobile crossings fell 38%, while air travel dropped 24%. Forward bookings projected 70% declines through September. Airline revenue evaporated. Air Canada redeployed fleets to Naples, Prague, and Manila instead of U.S. routes, responding to collapsing demand. Hotel bookings vanished, some properties reporting 90% declines from Canadian guests. Bluff Point Golf Resort used to fill with Quebec plates. Now golf carts outnumber visitors. Las Vegas, which survived recessions and pandemics, could not withstand Canadian abandonment. Total visitors fell 11.3%. Airlines-focused flights on Canadian-choked routes saw 55% passenger declines. Florida's snowbird economy faced collapse as retirees sold properties and canceled plans. Medical facilities tailored to Canadian patients reported 60% revenue declines. Realtors fielded panicked sell now calls. Century-old snowbird communities watched identity evaporate. Insurance brokers reported a 75% drop in travel policy demand from Canadians. Shopping tourism vanished overnight. Malls and outlets that relied on Canadian buses became retail graveyards. Gift shops watched inventory collect dust, and employees faced reduced hours and layoffs. Economists estimate current declines approaching $6.8 billion, catastrophic for border communities. States launched goodwill campaigns. Palm Springs loves Canada banners, at par pricing, but social anger proved hard to reverse. Julie Morrison owned Vermont property for decades until rhetoric crossed her red line. She sold at a loss and redirected her vacation budget elsewhere. Portugal, she said. Her decision mirrored thousands. Personal safety concerns and political insult outweighed nostalgia. Rita Bailey, 75, pledged she would never return. "I can't see this changing in my lifetime," she said. Generations who once vacationed in the U.S. now teach children to avoid those borders. Stories of detention and device searches spread virally. An Iranian-Canadian actress held 12 days became a symbol. Travel consultants reported near-complete drop-offs. Leisure travel down roughly 90% in some channels. Ipsos found 65% avoiding travel and 67% boycotting American products. For many, the choice was emotional: pride, fear, and a lasting sense of disrespect. Maine's Old Orchard Beach transformed from a bustling summer magnet into economic wasteland. Local hotels and restaurants that relied on Quebec tourists now struggle to survive. Florida's snowbird communities saw terminals designed for Canadian charters fall eerily quiet. Medical practices and specialty services lost 60% of revenue as patients stayed home. Realtors received frantic sell-at-any-cost calls as retirees liquidated holdings. Las Vegas visitor totals dropped noticeably. Canadian-focused airlines saw 55% declines. Outlets built around Canadian shoppers faced massive vacancies. Tour operators disappeared. For border towns, this is existential. No quick fix will replace lost, recurring customers. Empty parking lots translate to lost wages and shuttered dreams across dozens of towns. New registration requirements and fingerprinting for stays over 30 days raised alarms. Repeated rhetoric, 51st state jokes, shifted casual tourism into political warfare. Tourism economics projects a 20.2% decline for 2025, 4 million fewer visitors and $4.3 billion lost. A generation's first impression of America could be a hostile border and travel advisories, long-term damage to relationships. Substitution effects are already visible. Japan up 23% in Canadian visitors, domestic RV rentals surged 25%. When Canada's closest ally is avoided by millions of its people, the message is loud. Respect matters, and money follows trust. $6.8 billion, tens of thousands of jobs, and decades of goodwill are on the line. If you found this analysis valuable, subscribe and hit the bell. Tell us, if Canadians won't come, who will?